Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Kerbal Space Program 2. Today is the day we're going to send this behemoth out to JOOL and hopefully get ourselves docked to the station and get a resupply. If you missed the last video, you should really go watch that to know what the heck's going on. The two mammoths are strapped to the ends here and they're ready to rock. They are not fully straight. Like they're not completely perfect in their alignment, but I believe they're close enough to where our reaction control system, as well as just the gimbaling that's inherent in all the engines, can keep us on task with minimal risk at a loss of craft, I think. There's a couple of things we need to do. And also one thing I wanted to show and look at. There's also some more misalignment stuff going on here. So that's just upon loading the craft today. I don't know how to offset that, but that offset has also caused this docking port. Just like I said before, you can sometimes have a docking port sink into a tank and no longer be selectable. That's what's happening over here now. So these tanks are very close together, and these ones are even further apart. And so they're also not completely balanced that way too. I don't know if that's going to affect the physics, but that's kind of what's going here. So yeah, this right here is the docking port attached to this tank. And then this one here, I can't quite select it. It's kind of embedded into the tank. The only way to access that is to right click this and then find the other Clampotron in the list, and it's there. So that one right there is no longer accessible. we just lost it, basically. So it is what it is. Okay, I've tested this already, and I know we have to do one more thing before we can go, but I need to get a maneuver started. And I'm going to get a maneuver here, and we're going to get out to where we can crash into the moon. All right, that's what I want to ultimately do here as step one. So 900 meters per second from here. Now, that's a reasonable burn. However, I need to take away one engine, two engines. So I've tested this, and mostly because I don't want to show you guys things and then have the Kraken mess it up and have me not be able to recover it. I need to disable this engine and this engine. Something is happening. I tested it 4 times in a row. It happens consistently every single time. Those engines, which are sticking out, by the way, just as far as this one is, it just collapsed. I'll bring it back out. This engine, for whatever reason, if I burn this, it will overheat this one, and the mammoth will explode within 5 to 6 seconds. So it's almost like I'm burning directly on that engine. I don't know why that is, but it is the way it is. So we're going to take and collapse these two engines. And that means we're losing about 1,000 kilonewtons of thrust. It's not insignificant, but we're losing a little bit. Thankfully, we've got over 4,200 on each of the ends right now, so it's fine. Or at least it should be somewhat more fine. So we're going to go like this. And it's going to cost us a little bit more time, but I'm hoping to see us run into the moon still. So this is what we want to do first, is right there. We want to run into the moon right about there, okay? So that's the first burn. 3.5 minutes to run into the moon. Then we're going to quickly undock these things after we transfer the fuel. We're going to quickly undock them. And it needs to be about back here, actually. Yeah, right about here. Quickly undock these things and transfer the fuel and everything, and then continue burning some more so that we can get around this. All right. Now, it's not great. It's not perfect. Okay, but it's what we got to do. And in fact, I'd like to even burn. I'd even be better to burn from here. No, I think it needs to be more direct. Yeah, it still needs to be more direct. So we're gonna go. I'm second guessing myself right now on exactly how I want this to go. Because I know that as soon as I release these mammoths, I don't have a whole lot of control left. So I'm second guessing how I want this to be. I think it's going to be closer to like this. Yeah, I think it's closer to this is what I'm looking for. All right, so this is 3 minutes 48 seconds. It's going to get us to crash into the moon, and then we're going to undock these and then continue burning the rest of the way to get out. And if we can get out of Kerbin's sphere of influence on this one pass, We can then adjust from there to get out to JOOL. But right now we're being affected. And nothing else, we don't even need to get out to JOOL right now, like not right away. We can wait and go around one more time as well. Just use Kerbin's gravity to help us out even further, but I need to get around the moon before I can do that, basically. Okay, and again, the only reason we're doing this is space junk. You don't need to do this if you're not concerned with space junk. It doesn't matter. But we're doing it because of space junk. At least I am. Okay, so we're lining up with prograde, not the maneuver, and that's fine because the maneuver is eventually going to be prograde anyway. But after I start the burn, of course, we're going to start drifting. So it's better for me to select maneuver and just be lined up with that right now. And of course, since we're going to JOOL, we're going to be burning on the dark side. Okay. There is a little bit of lights on this, but they're not lined up correctly. They're lined up facing into the neighboring tank instead of on the outside. My bad. Also, only one of the tanks has the lights. I want to say that I put lights on one of these other tanks, but that doesn't seem to be the case. I thought it was another one on this side, but maybe those are sunk in too. It's possible. But when we jettison this tank, we're going to lose those lights. Basically, the lights are on this tank. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. We're going to start slow, then increase, and then all the way up. This counteracts any shaking and sudden shocks that these parts have with their dock together like this. And it's going to help make that a little bit more smooth. And so here we go. I kind of like that arrangement on engines. It looks pretty neat. It looked more neat with both of these on, but unfortunately it doesn't last long. All right, so you're going to see that we're burning straight. We're able to stay on our vector here, or able to keep ourselves lined up with the maneuver. There's a little bit of shaking. There's a bit of a rotation, and that gets a lot worse if I turn RCS off. So you can see the RCS thrusters are doing work here, all right? They're constantly adjusting to help counteract the torque that's being applied, but it is enough to offset it. So things are looking pretty good here. And I normally I would say it's probably fine to time accelerate through this, but given the unstable nature of this craft, I think I'm going to keep my eyes on it, because if it starts shaking and wobbling, I can still abort, right? I can still stop the burn and go around again. It's not going to be that big of a deal. It just means that we'll have space junk, and it'll also maybe mean that I can keep the mammoths. I may have to keep the mammoths. If I keep the mammoths on all the way to JOOL, then I'll have to have a trajectory that crashes into JOOL. Then I can decouple these and then correct, which is fine. If I have to do that, then I will. But I'm trying to prevent that from being a thing. Okay, so I'm taking a look at where we are here, and I'm not sure I'm happy with this. This timer is not going down as fast as I thought. Like we're burning later than I wanted to burn. I might be starting to learn to lose some of the benefits here. Okay, and go ahead and stop. We're going to also activate time acceleration really quick just to help with any jitters from that deceleration. We're going to also go ahead and stop SAS. Then I want to quickly go in to Resource Manager. We're going to find our Methalox tanks. Probably should have done this ahead of time. We're going to find the Methalox tanks that are currently almost empty. Those are the ones that are on the ends. So all the ones that are almost empty, they are our end tanks with our mammoths that we can go ahead and dump. I believe I got them all, and it looks like we got all of them. Okay, good. Now I want the centermost tank. I need center tanks is what I'm hoping for here. Center tanks right here. This one here, and we probably need even more than that. That one's the center tank, and that one's the center tank. Okay, we're going to have those 3 be the ins. And everything else is going to be labeled as out. We're going to take almost all the fuel out of these things. Looks pretty good. We'll go ahead and grab this bottom one here. Add in, and now I need to re-add out because I missed it. That's fine. We'll just add all these outs really quick. And out, out, out. I don't know if there's anything left in these, but if there's anything left, we're not missing much. We're just taking the remainder of the fuel out of this and putting it in there. Start. Okay. Last step, we go into the docking port. You got to find the docking port. Where is it? This is my worry. Where is it? Right here. Undock. That one's gone. And we want to also undock the other one right here. That one's gone too. Okay. So those are both dropped off. They're space junk now. We're going to control from here. Let's go ahead and get our... I know you can't see it. I'm sorry. Activate both of our engines again. And turn them back on. And see how it immediately burns that engine up? It's crazy. Immediately that engine burns up. It's wild. All right, we're going to go... I think this orientation is actually fine. I can't see my orbit. Why does this keep happening? All right, hold on. We're going to save this really quick. Okay, I've tried everything I can think of here. I've reloaded the games, restarted my computer. I've done everything I can think of. And the game will not show me my line. It won't show me the trajectory that my craft is taking. It's not this one. It's not this gray line here. It's not that. That's the debris line. All right. It won't show me my line, and it's kind of driving me a little bit nuts here, to be honest. I'm going to try like a radial out or something, even though I don't want to do that, but I need to try a different direction so I can get off of this plane. So we're going to turn ourselves about like this, and we're just going to hold this and go this way for a second. It's super not efficient, but I just want to see if the line shows up, and it doesn't. I mean, you can clearly see it on this. Like, there's no line here at all. So I have no way of telling like where I'm going right now. I would have to do it all by math, like the KSP 0.2 days or something. I'm gonna try to reburn, like do the maneuver all over again and see if that changes anything. Okay, so I'm trying it again. I decided to speed things up and do it a little bit different timing, but at least we have a trajectory now. At least it's showing me a trajectory now. If I focus on the moon, it is going to crash in. That'll take all the fuel out of those tanks. All right, let's go ahead and get rid of them now and cross our fingers and hope we have a trajectory. Let's go undock, switch it back, go to undock, switch it back, control from here. And we have a blue line. Fantastic. Okay. So for this blue line, I think what we want to do is we want to miss the moon. We don't have enough, like, it's not going to be a good idea for us to burn prograde right now to miss this. It's just not going to work because we're fighting Kerbin at this point. So let's select the moon as a focus, and we're going to go radial. And if we can get around the moon, there. Now that'll kick us out, but I'm not sure if it kicks us the right. It definitely does not kick us the right way. It's not kicking us out the right way, guys. We can maybe get it to... Yeah, I was hoping to like something like this would be better. You know? Something like that would be great. You know? It's 121 meters per second, and then we're able to keep going next time, you know? I think that's going to be ultimately better. We can also, at that point, adjust here to where we're going to be very close to Kerbin. Use that Oberth effect to even greater effect to get out for the next burn. So I think this is going to work a lot better. This is only a minute away. Oh boy. You should face that maneuver now. Turn on that RCS and face that maneuver, please. This is going to allow us to get the hell out of there. And I realize you guys haven't been able to see it this whole time. Sorry. Again, that's what happens. I've had so many comments about dark side stuff and like why I do it there. And I'm telling you, you play this game yourself, all right? You're going to do stuff on the dark side. It's going to happen. You're not going to be able to control it. You're not going to be able to say, oh, I don't want to do things in the dark. I want to do it in the sunlight. Sometimes you can't. Like when you're going to JOOL. You got to be on the dark side when you go to JOOL. You can't do it from the sunny side. Not unless you're in retrograde orbit, then by all means you can do it. But that's the only time you're going to be able to do it, is if you're in retrograde. So I guess if you want to plan ahead that way. But I realize I need to put lights on the crafts. But I mean, we're going to spend a lot more time in sunlight than we are in the dark. All right. And I get it. Maybe it's a degrade to your video viewing experience. If I could change the gamma in this game, I would. KSP1, we had a wonderful mod that would make the night side less night, you know, like it would change that setting so it's not so dark. I absolutely would love to have that. If anyone knows a mod that'll do that, or knows how I can edit a file in the game or something to have that, I would very much appreciate. You know, you can enlighten me. Absolutely. Feel free to enlighten me on how that works. You see how long it takes for us to push ourselves? Just 154 meters per second of delta V. It's a very long burn, right? This is such a long burn. And this is pretty much the main reason why I wanted to strap some mammoths to that thing, so we could get this going like this. Now, thankfully, our JOOL transfer window isn't gonna care about us going out this far and coming back. It's not gonna mind, so that's fine. But the angle in which we come out of here is gonna be important, so I do need it to at least be going this direction. I think that's gonna work, right? That's done. I think that's done. That's gonna work. All right. That brings us out like this. So we're no longer going to crash in the moon. And so now we want to just wait and let these things crash, because they will. And then we're going to go over to our apoapsis here. We're going to create this maneuver that pulls it back. And again, we want to use Kerbin's gravity as much as possible here. So we're going to say, I'm going to bring it to like 70, 74. Because we're going to have to burn before that periapsis, and I don't want to lower the periapsis into the atmosphere before I take off, right? So we're going to give it a little bit of cushion there. Okay, I'm gonna stop here. I don't need to burn anymore, and as I get this far out, I'm starting to get losses. So we're leaving, but still have a long way to go to actually get to JOOL. We're headed out past Duna at this point, though, and so the next maneuver is gonna be basically just as we leave Sphere of Influence, and then I can go and burn kind of as long as I need to get out to JOOL from here. And so that's gonna cost me. This is all very much more expensive than it would have been otherwise. I think this definitely cost me more than I was hoping, but it is still going to work. It's just going to be more expensive. So I'm running into this other bug, and I don't know what's going on with it. It's kind of frustrating, if I'm being honest. I keep losing vessel control, and there's no reason for it. So I've got this dish right here, which has more than enough range to reach the station, which of course has more than enough range to reach home. And right now I have infinite electricity on. That seems to be the only way I can get access to my controls. So even though I have EC, I've been trying all these different troubleshooting things. So I have EC, but if I turn infinite electric off, I lose vessel control. Like, that's it. Like, full stop. I have EC, but I lose it. And look at how fast it drains. Which, I get it. It's using its reaction wheels and stuff, but that is very fast, even for the reaction wheel drain. And again, I can't shut it off even either. So I have to turn infinite electricity on in order to get it to give me control so I can shut off SAS. If I shut off SAS and then turn infinite electricity on, I still have no vessel control. And the electric charge is going up, but I still have no vessel control. There's something glitching out here, and it's been happening ever since I got into JOOL's sphere of influence. I can't explain it. I've had vessel control the entire way here, but ever since I entered JOOL's sphere of influence, I haven't been able to do anything to this thing. It's been very strange. And so in order to be able to control my craft for this, I have to turn on infinite EC, because it's the only way I can get my stuff back. It's the only way I can get control back, even though I have electric charge, right? So very strange. Don't know. I'll report that bug too, but it's just a weird thing that I just never would have thought of. Like, I never would have thought that that would be an issue. I'm going to go into the atmosphere here for an Aero-break. I think this craft can handle it. It's got a lot of big tanks and big engines and things like that. So I think we can handle it with this one. So we're going to go into atmosphere about 20,000, a little over 20,000 meters in to try an aggressive Aero-break here. Normally I wouldn't do this, but given how we just saw in the last video, maybe it was 2 videos ago, I forget, but we just saw that probe enter directly into JOOL, traveling over 10,000 meters per second, and it made it all the way to the quote-unquote surface of JOOL without blowing up. It was incredible. They definitely nerfed it too far. But that said, this is only 20,000 meters into the atmosphere here, and I feel like we should be able to handle an Aero-break with, you know, heat engines, like these engines and stuff in the front. I feel like that should be something that's possible. So we're just going to bring in that, and we're also going to bring the antenna in. Now, if I lost control after the antenna was in, that would make sense to me. But remember, we also have the station in orbit of JOOL, and that can relay for us. So this internal probe core, the antenna inside the probe core, it would still be able to communicate through that station, right? And the station is right here. So it's not like it's really far away or anything. It's just right there. So there's definitely justification for saying that I have control here. So we'll come down, like I said, into the atmosphere, and we'll see how the Aero-break does with this much, like the engine and everything. And we'll see what it does for the new thermal system in the game. I'm going to, I think, well, that's not something I foresaw. Everything just falling apart immediately. Didn't have that on my bingo card. Really? Keep in mind, these are not attached with docking ports, right? Those are attached with, I mean, the same stuff that holds our rockets together on ascent when we're pulling 3 or 4 Gs on ascent, right? Like it's crazy. But this says that we experience 70 Gs. I just don't understand that either. I'm going back. Houston, we have even more problems. I don't know, guys. I don't know how long this series is gonna last. Okay, I'm sorry, but yeah, there's no trajectory lines here, and everything is not okay. Everything is not okay. I'm gonna reboot the game, I think. I can't see anything's lines right now. What is going on? Oh, and then on top of all of that, I still have no vessel control. And let's see if it, comes apart again. I have no idea. This I feel like I certainly am pushing the game to the max, right? So this is the same way this craft was assembled when it ascended Kerbin, when it came out of Kerbin, it was looking like this. So I don't see why it would just spontaneously come apart as soon as it enters the atmosphere. This time it didn't, so that's good. We're not exactly getting a whole lot of benefit from this Aero-break, though, I wouldn't think. I don't think we are, anyway. Let me take a quick look and see. It's not moving very much. They did, like, weaken everything, right? They weakened the atmosphere and all that stuff. So we are now, I mean, we're basically at our periap, so it didn't really do anything, did it? Get ourselves into orbit, hopefully, here. And then we'll go ahead and extend our dish again. And this retrograde burn should get us at least captured. But we have a lot of corrections and stuff to do before we can get into lace inclination. I'm not entirely sure how we got this slanted. It looked pretty good to me when I made the maneuver way back near Kerbin, but I guess my eyesight's just off or something. I don't know, but that's pretty much how it's going here. So we're going to burn this, I don't know, until we're captured. I'll see you in a second. All right, we're about this far. I think that's probably pretty good. We'll go ahead and put a stop to that for now. I need to correct inclination now. And unfortunately, the point at which I cross, well, I guess I can go do it all the way out here, right? Yeah, we want the ascending node right over here. So here's the ascending node. It's way out here, which is nice. And I'm just going to zoom into that really quick. And let's go in. This is since this is this ascending node. Yes, I can speak. We want to... Oh, I don't know what's going on there. Hang on. That was weird. It looked like I was going to crash into JOOL for a second there. What the hell? Create. Huh? Oh, I'm getting involved with Tylo. It's doing it again. Where it's like sneaking in this thing that I didn't know was going to happen. And then all of a sudden it's happening because I... Oh my god, this game. This game. This is the ascending node. We want to come down. And of course, Tylo's going to get in our way. I can't have that, so we burn some more, I guess. I mean, let's bring ourselves in more. I have to. I don't have a choice. I can't do it with Tylo right now. I don't have the patience, and I certainly don't have the thrust to weight ratio to support going after Tylo right now. Let's try it from here. That's better. All right. So we're going to go in and go, again, ascending node, come down until we, it says 1.6 degrees now. And that is about what we want. That right there, that's about, exactly. So 26 seconds at that marker is going to get us exactly what we need inclination-wise. And then I think what I'm going to do from there, because it'll be cheaper, I think. I don't know this. But I think it'll be cheaper overall if, at this point, I bring this out to where the station is. And then from here, I can bring that in. It's a little... I really honestly don't know. Because if I bring this in to here, bringing this out costs quite a bit from like the last time, like experience with the station before. It costs quite a bit. But if we do it out here, then this is going to cost a lot less. I don't know whether or not that makes this cost more, like, relative to everything. I have no idea. So, but we're going to go with it. I'm just going to make it happen. So we're facing maneuver now. Let's get ourselves out there. We don't want to be way out here. Let's follow the craft this time. All right, there we go. 30 seconds. Looks like 2 minutes, but that's fine. Get ourselves angling here. I wonder if I still lose vessel control. So I've got the dish out. Right? Yeah, dish is out. Solar's out. Clear view of the sun. I mean, we're in sunlight, right? Yeah, right over there. All right. The solar panels can definitely see the sun. Everything is good here. Right? So if I turn off the electricity, what happens? I immediately lose vessel control. So weird, man. Absolutely crazy. I have never seen that before. Somebody please tell me. Tell me why. Tell me why I can have 4,000 electric charge in the bank and not have vessel control unless I'm cheating. So please tell me in the comments why that would be a thing. And of course, I am going to send this save file before anyone says anything. Yes, I am sending the bug reports. I am sending things out. That doesn't mean they're going to get fixed right away, but certainly a game break. I don't know about game breaking bugs, but that's up there in the list, man. So for the remainder of this mission, we are not going to have to worry about electric charge because I'm going to keep it cheating. All right, so I've got this maneuver here at the end here, now that we've got the inclination settled, and I'm going to bring this side out, and it's going to be right underneath this orbital line, which is our station. All right, so this is lathe here, this extra ring that isn't normally here. That is the orbit for our station, so we're going to bring it right into the station. And then what I'm going to do, and I'm bringing it just inside. And I'm doing that because it guarantees that I don't get an encounter with lathe, because I may have to go around a little bit in order to meet up with this thing. I really want to meet up with the station at a fairly low relative velocity. I don't have a very good thrust to weight ratio, right? So I can't come blazing in at like 600 meters per second difference and then expect to be able to slow down with any good accuracy. So I'd rather come in and meet up with it at like 80 or 90 at most, maybe 100, and then have a better shot at, like, with precision, being able to stop right where I want to stop. Saves me all the fuel of having to go around and all this stuff. So we have right on the maneuver here. It's going to cost me 424 at this point to bring this up. And then I don't know what it's going to cost to bring it down, but I got to imagine it's cheaper than... I would hope anyway that it's cheaper than taking this from here down to here and then raising it up from there. I would think it's cheaper just because most big movements are cheaper when you get farther away from JOOL. I have no idea though. So here, I was gonna say here we go, but it looks like we got 2 minutes left. 30 seconds to the mark is not a big deal. I think it's close enough to where I just go ahead and do it now. But I'm also gonna activate RCS and hold H, which is the forward thrusting RCS, sorry, by hitting H. It's my forward thrust for my RCS system. So I'm getting just a little bit of help from RCS here. It's almost, it is insignificant, okay? But it's, you know, it might help in total in this 2.5 minutes here. Maybe it gets me like 100 meters per second or something. Like it shaves off a little bit, right? And that's hopefully enough. I don't even think it'll be 100, but I have a really weak thrust to weight ratio. So honestly, it's probably closer to 10. It's not even that. Yeah, I would say it's almost insignificant, but I'm going to do it anyway. Okay, that's it. We're there. Well, at least we're close to being there. Is it really 16,000 kilometers? Is that how high I am from JOOL? JOOL's big, man. It might just be that. Anyway, we're a little bit under the station is what I mean to be. So as I time accelerate here, right, we're going to eventually catch up to it. We're never going to intersect it, but we're going to catch up to it. And what I want to do is when we get pretty close to it, I'll go ahead and make a maneuver that will bring us just a little bit closer. And again, I'm trying to do this way to help with having a low relative velocity, right? I want to come in with a really low relative velocity. So we're going to go up about here. I'm just going to go out a little bit just so that I don't catch up to it quite as quickly. It's about there should work, I think. And that is... We're already facing that maneuver, so we'll just do it right there. So right about here is good enough. We're going to raise our PE up to be maybe about 16.2 or something, 16.1. That's fine. I just want to be closer to it, right? So that I don't catch up to it quite as quickly. And then as I'm getting right on top of it now, should be getting on top of it right about here. I should be able to create a maneuver here pretty quick that gets me that encounter that I want. So this is on the ascending node. Not that we really have much of an ascending node anyway. But if I bring this out just a little bit more... Do I really not? Okay, there it is. I get an encounter right over here. And my relative velocity is 23 meters per second. That's what I'm talking about. All right. Good. And close out that target velocity. Close enough. And then we'll go ahead and face the target now. And I think we can probably use our RCS thrusters for this. It does influence our movement a little bit to do this. But given that we're so far away from JOOL, I really don't think it's going to have all that big of an impact on whether we can meet up with this. Should be a pretty easy rendezvous here. So made a little bit of a miscalculation, and you know this happens when you do things in multiple days or whatever. The miscalculation is that the station doesn't currently have any monopropellant. That means that I cannot move the tug out of the way. I was going to move the tug out of the way so I could dock this thing, but I can't actually move the tug out of the way. That's a major issue because it means the only docking ports available to me are the small ones. And so we're going to have to dock to a small one. And I think for the sake of trying to be as safe as possible, I'm going to aim for one of the ones that are on this. I'm going to aim for this one here. Because trying to go for these here just risks banging into other stuff. So we're going to go for this one here. I'm going to go ahead and just bring that panel in so that it's out of my way. And we're going to have to go for that one. So that's a thing. And I guess I'll just use... It doesn't matter which docking port I use, I suppose. So I guess we'll just use this one. So I need to face the target, which is now going to be that. And my vessel is now going to slowly rotate, very slowly rotate over to that. Now, the good news is, right, I've got 91 tons of monopropellant left on this. So I can try to dock to this thing all day with this. And if successful, I can then, you know, push monopropellant into the rest of the station, and then I can have the tug and move it around and do all the things. But at that point, there's no point in moving the tug to dock this thing because I'm already docked. So we can do all the fuel transfers we need from that tiny ass little port right over there. And then I have to resituate the station. Remember, I need to move the station parts back the way they're supposed to be in order to have those big ports available. So I want to move the fuel tank of the station, which doesn't need to be moved. It's fine the way it is, but I had a specific idea of how I wanted it organized. So, like, I could do it that way. If I don't want to do that, then, I mean, it's still... the station is still functional the way it is, right? It'll just be like the fuel tank is off to the side, and then it'll be these two big ports that are available. And then I'd like to dock the tug on the small port to leave the big ports kind of available for more people. But, yeah. Anyway, I'd like to do that. Don't know if I can or not. Okay, so this is how we have to do this. I'm not going to do this in real time because it takes a very long time, especially when you are trying to dock with one of these small ones, because now your only form of acceleration is the monopropellant thrusters. And with a vessel this big, it's very difficult. Now, thankfully, it is not completely full. It's actually much lighter now than it was before. There's at least that going on. And I don't know what you're doing, but your target's right down there, buddy. So how about you You work your way down. What are you doing? Can you... Oh boy, it is not liking me. You're supposed to be facing that way. Not prograde. You're facing the target. The target. Did you not hear me, or what are you doing right now? It ain't acting right, man. It ain't acting right, man. That's the target right now. If I'm controlling from here, you should be, you know, looking that way. Let's see what it wants to do. I want to control you from here. This is where we're controlling you from. Come on, buddy. You got this. I'll pick yourself up. Do this. The thing is, this is going to slow me down a little bit more. Not too bad, but just a little bit different because these two spherical tanks are supposed to dock to this fuel tank. So they're supposed to be on this. And then that is supposed to be underneath the station, this thing here. So I really wanted to rearrange the station. I really want to put it the way I want it because I had plans for expansion and stuff on it. And now some of you out there will say, hey, you should have the station point at this. Right? Some of you will do that. And you can if you just do control from here. And then you want to target that one. And then point at target. You can use the reaction control system to go ahead and do that. What the hell are you doing? What the hell are you doing? Okay, well, that's not at all what I asked. You're just going and spinning in circles. Oh, that's so bad. Okay, we're going to have to time accelerate. 3, 2, time it right. 1, and go. All right, and then that's ridiculous. I don't know what the hell that was about, but it certainly wasn't what I asked. Oh, you're gonna keep doing it. Oh, you're gonna keep rotating. Oh, that's great. That's fantastic. You should take time off. You should take all the time off. All sorts of time off. You should just stop everything you're doing right now. Just stop moving. I'll take it from here, thanks. Yeah, so that didn't work well, did it? It didn't work out at all. Sure. Great. All right. Well, I'm now worse off than I was before. I don't know if that's like one of those phantom forces things, but that was pretty silly. If I'm gonna say so myself, that was a really silly movement you just did. And that might cost me quite a bit because we are moving now at 1 meter per second relative velocity, which we didn't have before. Some acceleration just happened as well with it. Oh, goody. So now I've got to find a way to correct that. So I'm going to start by cranking it off to the right and slowing down, because if I slow down, my lateral can be a little more effective. My lateral movement can be a little more effective, but I am absolutely moving away from the station now. Wow, that is not at all what it should have happened. So that's, again, one of those phantom forces things that just creeped up on us right there. It's kind of a more hidden one than usual, but that right there was that's ridiculous. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 reaction wheels on that vessel, spread out too. So there's no excuse for it going out of crazy like that. And then let's bring it down a bit more here. Let's get a little bit low here. We'll try to bring ourselves right under the station like this. Sometimes you just got to turn SAS off because it's trying to correct you and rotate and all these other silly things. I'm thinking this thing's rotating too. You're not rotating, are you? Better not be. Because rotation is the devil, all right? We just witnessed it. It's horrible. It's a horrible thing in space. Unless you're Matthew McConaughey, that is just untenable. It's not going to work. All right, let's bring it down. Come on. So we're going to bring ourselves over. And again, we're using the nav ball here so we know which direction we have to go in order to move towards the target, right? So putting that prograde vector right on that target indicator. Then I'm going to go ahead and tell this thing to face the target without RCS on. because it does crazy things if you don't. Of course, our prograde vector is going to go away, but that's just something that happens. What are you doing? This is wild right now, guys. I don't know what's the phantom forces associated with this. It's not doing anything remotely close to what I just asked. It's facing the opposite direction. All right, we are going full manual on you, and I don't care. Like, we're going completely full manual on you. You are, like, I need to donate you to a community college. This is ridiculous. Come on. Wow. It's doing it again. It is forcing me in a direction that I'm not pushing it. That is wild. I have to fight against it. I mean, it's very subtle because the craft is so big, and whatever this force is not that strong because everything is so big, but it's enough to where it's screwing me up with moving this thing. Yeah. Go. Let's move the weight to the center. That might help me in rotating and stuff a little bit better. Need to come down a little bit. Down a little bit, down a little bit, down a little bit. Now up. Rotate. We're almost there. Got it. Oh my gosh, I got it. Did we do that in real time? I don't know. Did I edit this? Did I cut you in, or did I just have the whole thing happen? You know what? I think in the spirit of KSP, we should just let that whole thing happen in real time. And if this video's long, so be it. We are docked. This behemoth vessel is now docked. Everyone's got monopropellant now, and there's still over 70 tons left in those spherical tanks. Beautiful. Isn't it glorious? Now the resource... Oh, you know what? F5. There we go. Now, the resource manager is going to keep these in here because I can't get rid of them. It's existing bugs. However, the tanks that we want to take fuel out of are going to be all the ones that highlight on this craft. And then all the empty ones are still there, but that's okay if the empty ones are there. Now that I've got all the fuel transferred, and then there's a little bit left in this so it can get out of here, the next task is going to be to get the spherical tanks off of it so that I can put them on this station. And it's looking very, very tight. I'm not sure about these going here because of the size of the spherical tanks and the solar panels proximity. Like if I should have moved these up, basically. Should have moved the docking ports up higher. So I might put these tanks here instead, on this docking port and on this docking port instead. And then that would get me these on the sides over here by the fuel tank. This could be where crafts dock instead. We should have, you know, we can use the green strip and the red strip more often and all that. So, hey, if this big ass thing can do it, anything else can do it too. So, we can have it dock over here. So to do that, we're going to F5 because Kraken is a thing. We are going to undock this. We're gonna go SAS first just to keep everything super still. We're gonna undock that. There we go. And we have also filled the monopropellant tanks. We have 9 tons of monopropellant on this thing now, so that's a very good thing as well. We can extend our solar panels just to fill that the EC. I'm not sure what's going on with my camera. My camera is drifting. You see how it's drifting off center? It is still drifting off. What are you doing? Why is my camera doing this? View? Chase? Horizon? Celestial? Capture? Body? No matter what I do, the camera continues to drift off center. Hello? Guys, is Kerbal Space Program 2 ready? Is this ready to play? I have to reload everything, don't I? I have to reload. I can't Like, I am going to, if I leave this, everything will be eventually off the screen. My hands are not touching the keyboard or mouse right now. Just FYI, this is just what's happening. And I'm controlling this, right? I got control of this thing. It's just not centering. I don't know what's going on. Maybe if I start moving, it'll center. This is such a weird bug. Oh, there it goes. Yep. All I have to do is start moving and it'll, no, it's drifting again. Yep, we're drifting again. Okay, let's try this again. We're gonna go ahead and undock this. Like so. There we go. All right, and we're gonna switch back to the station really fast. And we're just gonna make sure that SAS is on and that it's not gonna move, all right? So we'll just go time accelerate really quickly just to kind of lock that in. Switch back over here. And we're going to control from here. No, control from here. Yeah, control from here. Okay, then we are going to turn, or we're not. Excuse me. What? Okay, is time acceleration on or something? No, I can't move. The engines will move. The reaction wheels will not. And wow, rotate. Okay, everything is just on. It's stuck. Look at that. Look at that bullshit. Come on, what is going on now? I'm not sure this game is ready for me, guys. I'm not sure. I'm not sure the game is actually ready for the things that I want to do to it. There's just something going on. You get too many parts and it all just falls apart. You know, everything just starts to fall apart as soon as you do it. Try again. Undock. Now I can rotate. It's a thing of beauty, isn't it? God damn it. All right, so we're just going to take the time acceleration right here just to lock that so that motion isn't there anymore. Real quick, control from here. And we once again... I don't understand that. After time acceleration, I can't rotate. I can't do anything with this thing. Look at this. Look at that. That's bullshit and a half right there. There's no way. Oh, no. Okay, that's it. That's it. Done. Monopropellant is installed, and I almost got the green stripes lined up. I was trying to, but it didn't work. But it's fine. I'm not going to readjust it. It's not worth it. All right. So the next thing to do is to undock this, to get this out of the way. So we're going to undock the big ship. We're going to F5 first. Undock the big ship. Make sure it's cleared out of here, okay? So big ship has just 182 meters per second remaining. And it has no monopropellant at all. At all. Yep, it doesn't have any at all. So it is going to slowly drift away from the station. We're going to time accelerate to speed that up. But we're going to make sure that this thing cannot interfere, cannot influence, cannot do anything to that station. So we're just going to get it really far away. Okay. That is good enough, I think. And I can probably improve my frame rates moving this stuff around if I just get this thing out of here entirely. So why don't we do that? We're just going to face retrograde with this. And it's not going to be... we're just going to make it a fuel station. It's not going to have any fuel on it, but it's like something we can use as a fuel station maybe later. If I give it more fuel, like later, it could maybe get in orbit of Tylo, and then we can go from there. So like there's a lot of fuel. What I'm hoping they bring to the game, and this is kind of the reason why I'm doing it this way. It's probably a long shot, but it's just a bet I'm making. When they bring the colony stuff into this game, I'm hoping we can just pick up right where we left off. That's a big stretch. Probably not true. But I'm hoping we can just pick up right where we left off. And if that's the case, then we can then set up our base of operations on Lathe, start getting fuel production, that kind of stuff. And then we can refuel these things locally instead of needing to come from Kerbin. And the structures will already be there. It's probably a long shot, I admit. It's very low odds of that happening, I think. But maybe. Who knows? All right, we are going to lower our periapsis down to like 14. Like 14 kilometers, I think is good. This is fine. I want to make sure I can circularize. So they'll keep 90. 90 seems like it's almost exactly half. And then what we'll do is we'll go over to this side, the periaps, and we'll drop that down too. And we'll just spend pretty much all the fuel we got to do that. Okay, and that's going to bring our orbit with this craft much lower. I'm hoping anyway, much lower than the station. It doesn't look like it's going to be that much lower, does it? Interesting. I can go lower than this. I can go more. Yeah, I want to bring that even more. Okay, we'll try to go on that side then. And then one more time here, we're going to go retrograde. Yeah, like that. So just so that this thing has zero chance of being able to interfere with this station in any way in the future. We're not going to have any close counters. I'm not going to be trying to do something, and then all of a sudden this craft comes into physics range. It's just not going to happen, and that's what I'm looking for here. It's if you're role-playing it, you want safety, and that's what this is going to be. It's going to provide some safety. So our lander now for Lathe is completely full. It is ready for its mission. That feels good. Yeah, you know it. It does. And there's really no reason for us to stick around here. So if I'm going to do a Kerbal manager now, and this is the Wanderer can, I think 2, we leave 3 on the station, and these 2 come down. Bob and Jeb are going to go down. Yep, I think that's a good idea. All right. So double checking. I have solar right there. Yep. Okay, so we have full monopropellant 2, I assume. We don't really need full monopropellant, but like if we're going to be docking at the station, then I guess it would be a good idea to be able to maneuver and get back there, right? So our Stratus V Embiggens, there we go. These are already full. Yeah, these are completely full. All right, never mind then. We're good. Let's go ahead. F5. Undock you. Boom. There we go. And let's get just a tad bit of separation here. We're just going to make sure we're controlling from the pod. And we'll just get a tiny bit of separation there with RCS. There we go. Beautiful. Things are working out. So far, so good. Now, it's not telling me how much Delta V I got in this thing, but, well, I'm sure it will when I reload. It looks like we've got, this engine here has got access to 62. Yeah, there's about 62 tons of fuel in there. We should be good to go. It says 6892 down here. It doesn't say that here, but... Oh, that's weird. Yeah, it's putting the Delta V on the parachute stage. That's weird. Yeah, I don't know. I think that'll probably correct when we start accelerating, but if the 6892 is correct, then we are completely fine. If that is the case. The lathe thing, we're going to save that for next video. And instead, I'm going to finish the docking today for the station. I'm going to continue building the station out and docking it where it's supposed to be, because that's pretty much been the theme of the video so far. So we're going to keep that on theme. And I just need to move this to be on the bottom here. So to do that, let's take that panel away. We're going to F5. We're going to undock from here. There we go. We are going to make sure that we're controlling from here. And then I want to head up a little bit. Hopefully it doesn't crack in me because the port is right there. And my camera's doing that thing again. Wild. What is causing this? What causes this to happen? I don't know. It's so weird. Okay. Well, I don't know if it's even possible for me to get this with a camera doing this. But hey, you know what? That seems like an additional challenge. So if I'm not accelerating, the camera's going to drift. So I guess I just keep accelerating. I don't know. Like, maybe we can just do it anyway. Say, F you, game. I got this. I just need to figure out which way do I got this. Which way do I go to get this? Oh my god, the camera. I mean, granted, you don't need the camera, right? You should be using the nav ball anyway, and the nav ball's not moving, but it is a little distracting as a viewer, I'm sure. It's definitely not, certainly not an ideal situation here. Maybe it's, I don't know, maybe it's cinematic in a way. You just kind of drift your camera into the deep. But then as soon as I, adjust adjust where I'm going, then it's just going to be jarring. So it's, I don't know, probably not great. Let's get our orbit right here. Target, thank you. And of course I think I'm going a little bit fast here. Let's just slow it down. There we go. We can pull the panels in. We don't need these out. There we go. Look at that retrograde, like that prograde indicator is just going nuts, isn't it? Kind of wild. All right, we're facing the target. We're just gonna hit through it. I absolutely can't even use the nav ball. It's that messed up. The nav ball is useless, and the camera is useless. However, will he dock? If you can't use the nav ball, can't use the camera. Look at that. That's like, it's almost there, and we're good. We made it. And the camera's not drifting anymore. Okay. So here's the fun part. Well, fun-ish. I think maybe it might be a little bit fun. I think I can extend the panels again. Not you. You well, I would say you're probably not hurting anything, but I don't need you. Just get in. All right. So what we want to do is we're just going to undock here, get a very small amount of separation, and then we're going to rotate this so that this docking port meets up there. That's the game plan. And that should be doable. As long as I rotate the correct direction, and there is no guarantee I do that. If possible, it would be nice if these solar panels were kind of perpendicular to this plane here. So the solar panels should be this way, if possible, which they're almost there anyway. So a slight rotation on 2 axes, and we should be good to go there, hopefully. So SAS and RCS on. Time accelerate to stop any wobble. Hopefully. Then we undock from here. There we go. And now we're going to rotate ever so slightly. You need to do this slow because we don't want to run into the tank like I almost just did. There we go. We want to rotate and then a slight rotation in the other way too. There we go. Perfect. And now we get sucked right in. Done. And it's not quite lined up with the solar panels, but you know what? It's good enough, right? Because they're not blocking. As long as the tanks aren't ever blocking them is what I'm trying to avoid. And I'm pretty sure I achieved that anyway. So we're good to go. That's all I needed to do. I just need to rotate that in. Okay. So the question is, how much fuel is left on this thing now, huh? And I should have put, you know, I get it. These solar panels really should be on the opposite sides of the docking ports. They obviously don't want the docking ports so like this, but every time we want to dock something to the station, now we just take one of the panels in, and that pretty much protects the other one because it's on the opposite side. So it's not that big of a deal. How much do we have? We have 84-ish tons of monopropellant. So we're solid with monopropellant. Absolutely good. In the resource manager for Methalox, though, we're running pretty empty here. We only have just under 12 tons of CH4 in here and just under 48 tons of oxidizer. So it's not a lot, but it was enough to fill the lander for Lathe and have them come back and hopefully dock to this. And maybe if they dock to this, we might be able to give them enough fuel to get home. I don't know about that, but we may be able to get enough fuel to get home. Because when they come back, you know, you saw that has a main big tank, and then there's 4 on the outside, right? And then those 4 have little vector engines. Well, those 4, they're designed that way so that it makes a wide base so that we can land on a wider base, you know, in case it's not flat, as it usually isn't. But when it lifts off Lathe and goes to orbit, those tanks get deorbited like they're boosters on Kerbin, right? So those won't even be there when it comes in and docks to the station the second time. And yeah, and so the monopropellant that's on those stages, we're gonna have to use that or transfer it, but either way, it'll have enough to dock to the station. That's all that's important. All right, so that's the video for today. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate you. Next video, we're going to Lathe. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.